This is opening day in Louisiana. I think it's safe to say that we're at the end of the earth.
One of the main reasons that we came to Southwest Louisiana to meet Tony Palermo is he has the Holy Grail collection.
Here they come.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. In this episode, we head to Louisiana to visit Tony Palermo, a longtime DU volunteer and the world's foremost collector of DU dinner guns. Tony will give us a grand tour of his South Louisiana marshes and his unbelievable firearms collections. We'll also learn from the experts about the mysteries of waterfowl migration. One of the world's most important wetlands, one of the world's most generous conservationists. Right now on Ducks Unlimited TV.
So this week, we're in a little town in Louisiana called Hackberry, Louisiana. Go ahead and take time to find a map, because like most people, you've probably never heard of it or know where it's at. I've heard many people call it the end of the earth. And when you drive down there, you can understand why, because it is nothing but waterfowl-filled wetlands. What brings us to Louisiana is a very generous and very charismatic individual named Tony Palermo. When you meet a guy like Tony Palermo, it doesn't take long to realize that he loves ducks, he loves DU, and he really loves having a good time.
I wish you guys could shoot a little better. I'm tired of this. They're all going on y'all's end and y'all shooting blanks over there.
When you're in the blind with Tony Palermo, you always have to be on guard.
In the boat, we call that log hog. Dave, I ain't never putting you in front of the boat, okay? We never catch a fish.
You're either going to get picked on.
Oh, come on, guys. Look, they flew right over our head. My spotters let me down, okay? I got Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder on my left, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Elvis left the building.
Or the birds are going to be picked off before you have a chance to raise your gun.
You heard of buck fever? I got duck fever.
There is not 10 minutes that goes by when I'm with Tony where I'm not laughing or I'm not learning something.
Opening day, Louisiana. This is the day you try to figure out, all right, how do you get your waders to fit? Wait a minute, what do I need to go duck hunting? Are your calls in tune? I'm new, I don't know what to do. We are far south Louisiana, about as far as you can go. There's water everywhere. I mean, this road during the hurricanes didn't even hear. Man built this road in a spot that roads were not meant to be. Duck hunters zipping around everywhere, getting their stuff ready. Excitement is in the air for sure. To say that everybody's got the opening day jitters would be an understatement. Everybody's talking about who's gonna miss and who's not.
Hey, bets in the blind, or are you gonna miss first?
You do not want your first shot of the season to be a miss.
Opening day in Louisiana. Right off the bat, 3 mallards come in. Hey, you can't start the season off any better in Hackberry, Louisiana.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited and Ducks Unlimited's Rescue Our Wetlands campaign, banding together for waterfowl.
What I love about Louisiana duck hunting is you're not going to shoot just one species of duck. Multiple species of duck means different shots, different challenging shots. Joining us on this hunt was Dan Teal and David Schusler from corporate headquarters in Memphis. One thing I love about pit hunting is because you're in the blind, you're close with your buddies, and I guarantee you there's going to be some guys riding on one another.
Oh, come on, guys. That's your job.
That was my six.
That was your job.
And as the morning wakes up, it starts right off the bat.
But I need you so bad I'd fire you, okay?
These guys are giving each other a hard time about everything.
Right here, coming in.
There you go.
Tony! Great shot.
Very nice.
Well,
You're done playing around, aren't you?
well, look, I get serious every now and then, okay?
Tony.
Yeah. Look, I got Mo, Harry, and Larry. I'm gonna see y'all go beep, 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 beep.
So the 2017-18 opening day of Louisiana is officially in the books. Tony does not do anything halfway, and that was even with the food. He had a good friend of theirs, Drake Leonard, come in to cook for us.
We got our little Louisiana frog legs, again, that were caught just right down the road, right on the property. So everything's really kind of comes from just right in the area. The oysters come from, again, just south of here in the marsh. So we're very lucky that we have so many great ingredients right in the heart of this country.
My gosh, it was a buffet of the finest food in Louisiana. I'm not kidding you. Even these guys who eat Louisiana, Creole, Cajun food on a daily basis said it's the best stuff they ever had.
In 1973, Ducks Unlimited, on a whim, tried a project called the Shotgun of the Year and sold those at events around the country. It proved so successful that the program, as it's known today, was born. But in its inception, we did not keep any of the guns. We didn't hold them back to put in a museum or to display.
If we have the opportunity to turn a product into cash and put that cash to conservation, we do it. And we've done it that way for 80 years.
So all of a sudden we turn around and look at our history and we say, wow, here's this program that has generated more revenues for our event system than any other thing that we've done throughout the history of the organization, and we had nothing to show of it. So it became known as the DU White Whale. And you would hear about a collection in Wisconsin and it wouldn't pan out. You'd hear that somebody would have a collection in Florida and it wouldn't pan out. So years and years and years went by and this thing became a legend, it became lore. But lo and behold, there was somebody down in Sulphur, Louisiana who was working very hard to collect those guns.
The great annual movements of migratory birds are among nature's greatest spectacles. For generations, these migrations were a mystery. But today, researchers are learning more about when, why, and how these great journeys take place. Among waterfowl, migration is driven by changes in the relative length of day and night. In spring, increasing day length affects hormone response and starts the clock ticking. Over the next weeks and months, birds will accumulate fat, migrate, breed, and molt. In fall, long days gradually become shorter and the birds again accumulate fat reserves for migration and begin to become restless, setting the stage for their departure south. In general, these migratory patterns have remained consistent for thousands of years. But year to year, migration can be affected by short-term changes in weather and habitat conditions. Seasoned waterfowl hunters know approximately when birds will begin showing up in their area and when numbers will likely peak. But temperature, precipitation, wind, food availability, and other factors can affect this timing substantially. That's why patience can sometimes be the duck hunter's most important virtue. Find out more about the mysteries of migration at ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com. DUTV is powered by Black Cloud Ammunition. Drop ducks like rain. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
You not making any more of my coffee, I'll tell you that right now. Look, Texas people don't make coffee like this, okay? Them Cajuns make coffee like I could stand a spoon up in this stuff, okay? Ooh-wee.
You want to get a cup or you going to stand there?
Oh no, I'm gonna stand here and grumble about this stuff.
It was a real pleasure to be able to hunt with Dan and David because the guys are just plain funny.
I learned this from James Prince on the Texas coast. It's called the Prince in a Can Special.
Oh yeah, right next to those three.
Right there.
Dan and David are actually the reason that Tony donated these guns to DU.
I never thought as a staff person that I would see a full collection of Ducks Unlimited shotguns of the year.
For us, it was a bit like the Holy Grail. Is there really this collection?
As we've mentioned before, and as I'm sure you've already seen, Tony's quite the character.
Okay, Phil. You hate that direction, huh?
I don't mind it just now.
What time? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Nice shot. So, the first time David went down to talk to Tony about these guns,
And I'll never forget that afternoon. It was about 105 degrees, okay?
Tony worked hard for these guns. He's not just going to give them up.
He was fired up. He wanted to go see those guns. I don't know, I got a little belligerent. I thought to myself, I don't think so, Buster, not till you go through a little penance, okay?
Tony made me sit on a fence as I watched him practice on a cutting horse for about an hour and a half.
Where I was at, I was cutting in the shade, okay? So.
Watch this bird to the right, coming in to the right.
Good shooting, guy.
Duck down. That's a blue-winged teal, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
He wanted to make sure that I was dedicated enough to actually go in and see his collection of guns.
Do y'all ever work? Do y'all work or y'all practice all day long?
Practice shooting every day.
That's it. Took my time about the situation. He cooked out there in that hot sun. So got off my horse, went and gave my horse a bath. No hurried out, okay? So David said, do you really have those guns or not? So I said, I might. He said, can we go look? I said, well, I got one more thing to do, David, okay? It was drenched, though. We finally ambled up the house, and I told him I had to have some iced tea. Would he care for some iced tea? I would have in a little bit more stalling tactic.
How do you duplicate a pit blind situation in and around your home or in and around your training kennel? First, we can get us a box and teach the dog to work from that box. Also a dog hide, just take a dog crate, getting the dog to work from the crate. But when you're doing that, you should be sitting on the ground where the dog has to come directly to you and get back in the box or jump back on the water stand or jump into the pit box. Pointing is pretty difficult when you're lying this way if you're sitting in a hole down low. But I like to, when I line them this way, I like to reach way out and point in the direction I want the dog to go. And I can, like a turret, point. Our second little tip for you is to cover the dog's eyes, sit down low, and give the bumper a toss. Now he marked that by sound. That's gonna happen a lot in a pit blind. They're gonna hear the bird fall, thunk, or splash, and he can mark it. We have to work the dog now sitting down. Zender. recall. And there you have it. A couple of things that you can do to prepare your dog to work out of a pit. But if at all possible, go to the chute first, go to the hunt first, and train on those grounds to get the dog used to it. The first time your dog sees these types of situations, the pit blind should not be open in day at sunrise.
Duck Dog with Mike Stewart is presented by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. DUTV is brought to you by Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Intelligent firearms storage made by Secure provides closed captioning for DUTV. The gun storage game will never be the same.
We have all been there early in the morning when that one wood duck or that flock of teal buzzes the tower, comes over from behind, and they just keep going. You hear the whoosh of the wings or the squeal, and they're gone. The way to make that shot, even though that's a going away shot, if you bring the gun up and cover the birds, you'll shoot over the top of those birds. You need to bring the gun down, see the bird over the top, and then don't hesitate. As long as you can see the bird over your barrel, that's all the lead you need. That's all you need to see. You pull the trigger, you'll make the shot.
Duck Gun is presented by Black Cloud Ammunition. Drop ducks like rain.
So this morning we're going to do something a little bit different. We've hunted the same blind the last couple mornings. Lots of lass, some pretty good shooting. This morning we're going to take the boat out. So we're going to go to a different blind. We got a little bit of wind. It's going to be a good day, I think.
This is a cool setup we have here. So you got a pit in the ground, and there's a bunch of Phragmite behind us, and they cut it to where the frag stays tall behind us. So right at first light, you can sit up on this upper bench. As long as you don't move, you know, they really can't see you.
Oh, that's how we do it.
That is what we're looking for.
They were simultaneous. You see those ducks fall simultaneous.
That is what we're looking for. When you have as many guns as he has, how do you not just resist to take a different gun every day?
I got a gun for every day of the year.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
It was kind of an obsession with me. I basically had to have another and another and another and another, pristine, unfired.
Tony is not just collecting guns, but he is collecting the very finest firearms in American history.
But they never really took in consideration what a collectible that was. They were thought of as that, I gotta try this baby out, I guarantee you what a mighty fine shotgun, and they shot them.
So the thing about these guns is the only shell that's ever been fired through these guns is actually at the factory just to test the gun to make sure the gun is operable. As a waterfowl hunter, I can't thank Mr. Palermo enough for collecting this American waterfowl history. And you got to understand too and appreciate when he did this. He didn't do it when there was Craigslist, eBay, gunbroker.com. He did it when there was no internet.
Really and truly, I probably could have flew to the moon easier.
We haven't shot a widgeon yet, have we? I like them when they're high and they just block up.
That's cool. That was
awesome.
cool.
Man, widgeon are probably one of my favorite ducks.
Good shooting, Tony. Good shooting. I pulled the trigger.
I think they all have got their own beauty, the way they work, the way they fly. But my favorite, there's something about widgeon. When they work and when they center up, that white cap right there is just, that's all I see. And I mean, they are just absolutely gorgeous.
It was quite a task to accumulate these fine weapons. David said, would you consider giving a set up? I said, of course not. So I'd have to really sleep on that a year or two or three. I'll tell you why I gave them. That's where they needed to be. I need to share these with my fellow sportsmen, my fellow DU supporters. They absolutely needed to be at Ducks Unlimited headquarters.
There is no meeting that happens where we do not take a group up to take a look at the guns. It's almost a feeling of comfort to know that we have this rich history from our organization that now sits in our home office and we can point to and be proud of. And that simply would not have happened without the generosity of Tony and Tina Palermo. If you come to Louisiana and you see the dike work that goes on, if you see the water control structure work that goes on, making sure that these marshes are healthy, trying to reclaim marshes that have been lost, it just makes you proud to see what we're doing to sustain this lifestyle down in South Louisiana, which is rich in culture and just a phenomenal place to be in once you're here.
You don't get no better than this.
Thank you, Tony Palermo, for all you have done on behalf of North America's wetlands and waterfowl. And thanks to all the members and volunteers of Ducks Unlimited, a community of true wetland activists. Visit us at ducks.org and see you again soon on DUTV.